All right. Hey, Team Hope. We are super duper excited to be on with Sara Stegall. Is it Stegall or Stegall?
Stegall.
Stegall. Oh, there you go. Somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, I couldn't say it till I got married, so don't worry about it.
Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, so we are super excited to have Sara on the call. I had the opportunity to meet Sara last year at Summit, and you had been a coach for what, like 5 minutes? Like
maybe 5 days.
Yeah, like brand new.
It was like a week or week and a half.
Yeah, and she came out to Summit, which was really, really exciting, and I got to meet her, and right away I could tell, and I remember Danielle Ray, who's your sponsor coach, was so excited about you, and she could tell that you were going to do great things, and I could too. And the thing that really has struck me about Sara is just even in that one meeting with her, is I could tell that her focus with this was she had a love of fitness, she had a love of family, she had a very, very strong faith, and she just wanted to share that with other people. And that's what she's done. She went diamond in less than 4 weeks. She just hit her 1-year mark as a Success Club All-Star. And as we're coming up on Summit, as you can see, she's never been a coach in a month that she hasn't hit over Success Club 5 in most months. So we're really, really excited to have her on the call and just have her kind of tell her story and talk to us about jumping in with both feet from day one. I really wanted to know what, motivated her to go for diamond right away, and also how she was able to do that while keeping her focus on service and love and helping and inspiring other people. Because I think a lot of times with new coaches, they want to help people with their fitness journey, but they have a hard time. They have a hard time kind of getting out of their own heads about saying, oh, if I sign them as coaches, then it's yucky. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited to hear, kind of Sara's take on kind of getting out of her own head and doing that. So I'm going to toss it to her. We're recording. I'm going to mute myself. And we're excited. So there you go, Sara. It's all you.
Thank you. Well, because I tend to ramble, I had to organize my thoughts. So I hope that in the way that I organize my thoughts, you'll be able to hear all the answers to the questions that you kind of just talked about. So first, I just want to share some tips with you all on how to get to diamond in the first place, and then some tips on how to stay at diamond once you're there, because I feel like a lot of people get to diamond and then they lose it, and they get to diamond and they lose it, and then beyond that. And then finally, I just want to share 2 mindsets that I think really have shaped my business and are different than when I began a year ago. So I just wanted to share that. So I'm just going to jump right in. Just some practical tips for getting to diamond in the first place. This is very practical, and we'll get deeper in a minute, but it's signing your spouse or a family member up right away. Danielle was not able to do that when she became a coach, my upline coach, Danielle Ray, but she gave me that tip, and it was very beneficial and helpful. I was able to control my husband's account and use his account to help push me to diamond. And now I don't even need him, but it was helpful in the beginning to get started. Number 2, I started sharing immediately. I feel like a lot of times coaches feel like they have to get their body just right, or even be a successful coach before they can start sharing. And so I felt like I was so excited about Beachbody. By day 3 of doing the 21-day fix, I was texting my best friends, hey guys, I'm doing this thing. It's awesome. Would you be willing to hear me out on it? And of course, all my close friends are like, sure. So I didn't wait. I think that really helped me to get to diamond so fast is I just started sharing right away. I figured if I believed in something and I thought it was good, why not? So 3, I texted and called my upline coach, Danielle Ray, constantly. I wasn't afraid to ask her lots and lots and lots of questions, even if I felt like they were dumb questions. I felt like we were on the phone and texting constantly, and I initiated that. She was great at training me and reaching out to me, but if I had a question, I picked up the phone and I called her. Number 4, I focused, and you'll hear this all the time on calls, I focused on sharing and not selling. As my first program I ever did was 21-day fix. And so I basically just documented my journey in that. And I didn't wait until I was 3 weeks in. I shared week 1, week 2, I shared what I was doing along the way before I reached what I wanted to accomplish. I'm going to say her name wrong, but Keisha Fitzgerald, is that right? Okay. Danielle gave me her 8 training videos, and that was just simple for me. I was over, it doesn't matter. You can find training videos from anywhere, but Danielle gave me their 8 training videos from Keisha Fitzgerald. They're short, they're to the point. I got through them in 2 weeks, and they were just basic, fundamental, important things to know as a Beachbody coach. And I felt like those were extremely helpful for me. So those training videos. Number 6, I set goals and I chased them very intentionally. So I guess when I started, I didn't even know what a diamond coach was. So I had no intentions of reaching diamond coach status at 4 weeks. But when I started getting closer to this 4-week mark and saw that it was a possibility, then I ran after it. So in the final week, after being a coach for 3.5 weeks and saying, oh, wow, people are wanting to get healthy. People are interested in this. I saw that I only needed 1 or 2 more discount coaches to become a diamond coach. And so there were about 6 people that had shown interest in purchasing a challenge pack or being part of a challenge group. And so I don't typically do this, but because I was trying to reach a goal, I sent a message to them, a group message. And I said, hey guys, all of you have expressed some sort of interest in being in a challenge group. The first one to order, I'm going to send you 2 samples of Shakeology. I got a response in less than 10 minutes, and I reached my goal like that. So, I'm not a real pushy person, and like I said, I don't do that often, but when you have a certain goal and a timeline, sometimes that's a beneficial thing to do. So that's how, if I wouldn't have done that, it would have been probably 5 or 6 weeks before I became a diamond. So now I just want to share some practical tips for once you are to diamond, how to stay there and how to go beyond that. I know that's a big struggle because you're so excited, you finally hit that diamond status, and then 2 weeks later, you look and you're like, what? I'm an emerald coach again. So here's just some quick tips for that. Number 1, this is a very general and vague tip, but it's important. Allow people to get to know all of you, not just the Beachbody you. Let them know about your kids, let them know about your other hobbies and your other interests. Let them know all of you, because you hear this again all the time. People are buying you. They're not buying a challenge pack. They want to know that they have someone they can trust. And so they need to know all of you, not that just your whole life is Beachbody. Number 2, this is a really important one, I think, is put energy and effort into your challenge groups. When I first became a coach, I got, these, Danielle gave me some great challenge group posts and that were already laid out for me, and they were great, but just to personalize it, I went through and I basically made my own challenge group. I took the skeleton that she gave me and I just did 1 day at a time, so it wasn't too overwhelming. But I'm not the type of person that says a lot of bubbly words. I guess I'm not super bubbly. So I changed the post to sound like it was coming from me. And then I added my own insight. I added my own story. It's real easy just to copy and paste, and that's okay. But for me, I felt like it was important to customize it and personalize the challenge groups, because then when you have a good challenge group and you have people feel like you're really talking to them and you're not just copying and pasting, they will advertise for you. And I've actually had challengers do that without even asking me. They'll post on their Facebook page, hey, come be part of this challenge group. So really put effort into those challenge groups. Long-term, that's really important. Going along with that, be sure to check in with your challengers. I'm sure all of you know that, but check in with them personally. Your challengers have all different kinds of personality types. Some people are very committed and excited about this health journey, but they're not super comfortable with sharing all their stuff in a public forum. And so just check in with your challengers and keep track of the ones especially that are not sharing a lot. It doesn't mean that they're not passionate. They just may need some more one-on-one attention. Again, this business is all about building relationships. It's in the long run, you can sell a bunch of challenge packs, but if you're not following up and building relationships, they're just going to die off one by one, as I'm sure all of you know when you get that message that says someone canceled their coaching thing. Number 4, this is an important one, and I did not catch on to this right away. It took me a little while, but check your online office daily. I made mistakes in this area. All of a sudden I would see, oh no, someone's gone, and I didn't even know. I thought they were in this for the long run. So check your online office daily. Know the status of your business. You are a business owner, and so you have to know what's going on in your business. You can see, if your downline coach is an emerald, make sure he or she stays there and you help them get to diamond. You got to see if they're falling off. So just check in. Here's one, number 5, share your personal knowledge with your downline coaches. There are so many great resources with Beachbody on Team Forward Fitness, Team Hope, my coaches team, PH7 coaches, great resources. But you personally share with your coaches what works for you. So on my little iPhone, in the notes section, I have a Beachbody section, and I have saved notes that have titles like 21-day fix Shakeology information, simple pricing, new customer email, order message with instructions, things that I'm saying a lot so I'm not having to waste time retyping it every time. And I share these with my coaches. I text them all of these messages so that they can use these too and personalize them for their businesses. Number 6, when you make a mistake, because you will, own it. Don't waste time defending yourself. Just own it. And if Beachbody makes a mistake, apologize for it and see what you can do to help your customer. You are a business owner. That's just what you do. You have to just own up to whatever mistakes are happening and help your customer or coach in any way that you can. It's a very humbling thing. You kind of just have to let your pride go on that one. This is an important one, I think. Be 100% honest and trustworthy 100% of the time. I've heard on different places and in different forums, Beachbody coaches saying, oh, well, just tell so-and-so that you had a dream about them and it made them think of you. And so you want to send them a message. I feel like eventually people will see through you. And honestly, that's just fake. It's just fake. And I feel like maybe short term, you might get a couple extra challenge packs, but long run, it's not good for anybody. So just be honest with people. You don't have to make up that you had a dream about them. Just say, hey, I saw your post on Facebook and your kids are beautiful and it made me think of you. How are you doing? And just start from there. Just be honest. And in the long run, it's going to benefit your business the most. You guys know this, but be a lifelong learner and always be willing to change. In Beachbody, we call this personal development. For me personally, it's the Bible. I read the Bible every day. That's to renew my mind and to get my mind right. I'm also reading this book right now. It's called, it has a long title. I wrote it down. What's Best Next? Yeah. What's Best Next? How the Gospel Transforms the Way You Get Things Done by Matt Perman, Perman. And it's an excellent book. Just basically having a focus on serving others. And when you have that focus on loving and serving others, you experience the fruit of that. And sometimes it's a longer process, but it's a quality process. And people stay in there for the long run, I think. So you have to be willing to change. If something's not working, stop using the same challenge group posts. Stop doing the same invites. Do something different. You have to be willing to change constantly. And that's definitely something I've learned. Okay, so all that, those are my tips for helping to get you to diamond and to stay at diamond. And then I just wanted to quickly share 2 mindsets that I have that I think really shape my business now, and that have changed since I became a Beachbody coach a year ago. So I've been a Beachbody coach for a year. And that first mindset is that people are not doing me a favor by ordering from me. I don't need to beg for people's business. I am actually doing them a favor and offering them a huge blessing that could potentially change their life. And to be honest, at the beginning when I started, I did not have that mind frame. I felt like I was like, oh, please, 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 thank you so much for ordering for me. You know, like they're doing me this big favor. But when you get into this and you watch your own life change and you watch your challengers and your coach's life change, you realize that you are offering a huge blessing. I mean, for me personally, there's the health aspect. My husband and I have 4 daughters, ages 11, 9, 7, and 4. Our youngest has Down syndrome, and having a child with special needs is an incredible, amazing experience, and I'm so blessed to be her mom. However, it's extremely exhausting as well. There are so many extra things. Even learning how to jump is a big deal. There's all these therapies and there's all these extra things, and it's draining. And before I started the 21-Day Fix and became a coach last June, I was dead. Once I got all our kids to bed, I would fall out on the couch, eat ice cream, and just want to go to sleep every night. That was my life, literally. And I sat there thinking, if I keep doing this, I'm not going to make it to age 50 like this. There's no way I can keep going like this, because Eden, our youngest that has Down syndrome, she's with us for life. She doesn't go off to, you know, I'm not going to limit her. There are college programs and stuff, but most likely she's with us for life. So this isn't just a short term, I can get through the next 3 years. This is for the rest of my life. I'm responsible for her. And I am like, if I don't start taking care of myself now, it's not going to go well. And so, learning to eat clean, doing Shakeology I didn't have a huge body transformation. I lost 10 pounds and firmed up, but the energy transformation has been huge. I have energy to be the mom and the wife that I want to be. And so to see that in my own life, I am not burdening people by sharing that with them. That is a huge blessing. And then there's the financial thing. I am not where I would say I earn like a full-time income yet, but I'm getting there. And it's very, very exciting. I'm at the 1-year mark and I'm starting to see my paychecks really kind of take off. And it's very exciting to watch that, because you hear all these upline coaches talk about it and you're like, yeah, but that's them. That's not me. And then you see it and you're like, what? I made that this week. I made that amount in 1 week. So it does happen. And so it's exciting. Personally for us, my daughter, I know I talk about her a lot, but our youngest that was unexpectedly born with Down syndrome, she had open heart surgery when she was 3 months old. She had colon surgery when she was 7 days old. She spent her first 3.5 months in the hospital. And so you can only imagine the type of medical bills that we racked up during that time. And I can say right now, we are debt free. We have no debt except for our mortgage. But I mean, I didn't think we'd get there. It didn't seem like ever. The other amazing thing that Beachbody has allowed is, again, because of Eden, the school system that we were in was good for general education, but not for kids with special needs. Once they got to kindergarten, basically all the kids with special needs are put into one room, and they're only allowed to come out for like related arts, like art or gym, where the school system that we have now been able to move to, as of June 1st, we moved. It's called inclusion. So when she gets to kindergarten in a couple of years, she will be put in a typical classroom with her peers, just like she's used to at home with her sisters. And she will get to learn math with them and learn to read with them with an aid. And so just by moving 5 miles down the road, we've been able to provide this school system for her. And that completely was impossible without Beachbody, because the county we moved into is way more expensive. And so anyhow, just God's provision and all this, it is not a burden to share this with people. It is a blessing. And it has been a blessing to me, and I'm happy to help and share this with other people. Okay, so I'm talking too much. But the other mindset that has helped shape my business is, and this has been more recently, probably in the last 3 or 4 months, is I finally gave up being perfect, and I found my own groove. I found my own groove. I think at the beginning of this journey, I had in my mind what a Beachbody coach was supposed to be. And every time I didn't measure up to that, I felt guilty. I felt like a failure, and it made me discouraged and not try as hard. Okay. So, like I've shared with you, my husband and I have 4 daughters. I'm actually a pastor's wife. My husband is a pastor. I help lead the women's ministry at our church. I help teach the youth group, Sunday school. I have all the extra therapies and stuff for my youngest. And so my business and how I run my business is going to look very different than how your business is going to look, and how a homeschooling mom's business is going to look, or how a single person's business is going to look. And that's okay. And that's what I'm finally understanding. It seems very simple, but it's okay. Like I mentioned before, we have all these great resources on the team pages, and they're awesome. And as I've been through them and looked through them, some of them I jive with, and they work very well for me. But some of them feel very unnatural for me. And so I've had to find my own way of doing things. And that's okay. And so I don't know why it took so long, but I'm learning that. And when I finally let go of this perfect model of what I thought a Beachbody coach should be, and just decided, okay, I'm going to do what I can with what I have where I am. Even if I only have 30 minutes today and 2 hours tomorrow and 45 minutes the next day, that's what I'm going to do. And when I finally let go of that, it's been so much more free. And actually the last couple months, my months have been much more successful than they had been in previous months. So I just wanted to share those 2 mindsets, because I feel like that's kind of launching me into my next phase of coaching, of where I'm at. And you're going to have to forgive me, because I was a runner in college, and so I always use runner analogies. But when I ran track at Georgia Tech, and when we ran there, we'd be doing super hard workouts. And my coach would always say, don't stop. I don't care if you have to slow down, jog a little bit, take a breather, but don't walk. Just keep running. Even if it's slow, just keep running. And so that's what I wanted to say to you guys today. Don't stop. I feel like that's one of the biggest keys to being a successful Beachbody coach is simply not stopping. Okay, maybe if you have to jog for a minute and get a breather, just don't stop. Keep running. I often encourage my challengers and my challenge groups, if they get discouraged and they're like, oh, I just did so awful in the workouts, and I'm not losing the weight I want. I'm not doing well at this. I try to encourage them by saying it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Something is always better than nothing. I think when we go in the all or nothing, if we're not doing all, we do nothing. We give up. So just keeping in mind, something is always better than nothing. And so I encourage my challengers with that, and I want to encourage us coaches with that as well. Yes, we work our tails off. We work so hard. Work. But something is always better than nothing. So I mean, that's it. Just to wrap up, I just wanted to say, let go of the perfect and just find your own groove and just run with it. So that's it.
Sara, that was amazing. I could have listened to you talk like all morning long. Thank you so much for being so well thought out. I literally have 2 pages of notes.
Okay.
So that was great. I love bullet points and lists and things like that. And your 2 mindsets are so huge. I completely love that. It totally gives me so much to think about. So if we have a couple more minutes, does anybody have any questions for Sara, or questions about anything going on in Beachbody right now, specials or summit or anything like that? Not a thing. Okay, sweet. Well, then we are going to wrap up. I will put this recording. Sara, again, thank you so much. I know this is not a super convenient time for everybody, but we just figured we would stay, at the same time. And then once school starts back up, maybe it'll be easier.
Yes.
Someday it'll be easier.
Yeah.
We all keep waiting. When school gets out, it'll be easier during the summer. When school starts back up, it'll be easier. Anyway, well, thank you so much, Sarah. It was awesome. I'm excited to see you in a couple weeks at Summit. And so there we go. Thanks so much, guys.